All right, good morning once again, everyone, and welcome. Before beginning, I'd like to ask everyone to make sure that you choose your interpreter 2021 into this webinar session titled Paradigm Shift in STEAM Education. This will be presented by the Ministry of Education, Sports and Creative Industries in Antigua Barbuda, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information of Jamaica, the Ministry of Education, Science and Culture of Suriname, and George Mason University, USA. So thank you all for joining, and team, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Alison. I'm going to full screen this. Alison, a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Good. Okay, thank you very much. Well, happy and good morning to everyone, and thank you for coming to this event. And as Alison just introduced, this is a collaboration between four major regions. So, of course, championed by Alison, helping us to always work together. And we have a team from the United States that includes me and a colleague of mine who you will hear from later, Ms. Abhilasha Tripathi. My name is Padu Seshayar. And then we have a team from Jamaica, which consists of Dr. Thomas, Ms. Bhagya Malari, and Marsha Russell, Ms. Marsha Russell, who will be speaking to us later. And team from Antigua Barbuda from the ministry, Stacy Maskell, as well as a team from Suriname, which includes Ms. Rosanda Pai and Ms. Cindy Liefling. And you will hear from all these different voices in just a second.
Good afternoon, fellow educators. We are the project team TEAMS, which stands for Teams, Engagement, Advocacy, Mentorship, and Sustainability. We approach our second leg of the journey to enhance teaching practice that will deliver an authentic learning experience. We have devised a 4-country strategy examining teaching challenges in the regions of Jamaica, United States of America, Suriname, Antigua, and Barbuda, developing a pilot digital credential STEAM Education Change Agent Badge that will empower teachers, giving recognition for the work that continues with our awesome educators. So sit back and relax while you hear our plans from each country. Do have a wonderful evening.
One can think of digital badging as transparent teaching portfolios that serve as electronic records that signify the accomplishment of an individually determined goal or the completion of a task that has value to a specific group, which in this case is teachers. This is illustrated by the following schema. First, badge classes are objects that can be created to build a catalog of badges that may be available to earn from the issuer. The issuers could be Ministry of Education or institutions of higher education, for example. An example of a badge class could be ICT competency for teachers. They may include information about the achievement, including how to earn it, or learn more about the issuer and the achievement itself. Next, with a catalog of badges or badge classes prepared, one can issue those badges by creating assertion objects. This step is the representation of an awarded badge to an earner, again in this case is a teacher, and may include evidence and supporting information on how the recipient became eligible for it. Typically, next, a badge is displayed in a human readable format. Supporting this enables the recipient to showcase their earned achievements and choose to allow others to view those. Think of this step as earners displaying their badges on social media such as LinkedIn. Badge hosts must finally support the function of importing badges, which involves a process by which an assertion and related objects are validated for format and integrity. Now, there are several benefits of digital badges. Digital badges would address members' needs. It would also provide members with control and ownership of their individual learning achievements. Members, in this case, again, teachers, will identify skill gaps that they believe provide value and strive to earn digital badges in those areas. Similar to any traditional award for educational or professional development achievement, members want digital badges to display accreditation in their professional field, reflect the effort and prestige taken to earn it, show potential employers that they have up-to-date and relevant skills, share their achievements with peers and prospective employers, or export for display in other platforms and social media. Now, like many entrepreneurs and startup companies, our teams brainstormed on a virtual whiteboard and started to look for themes and patterns to build this digital badge. All 4 countries realized the importance of building a T-shaped digital badging curriculum, which helped to visualize the depth and the breadth of content knowledge, as well as the lifelong competencies that are required to empower teachers and enhance their pedagogical practices. From this crazy yet powerful brainstorming, we were able to organize our ideas to create a collaborative teams digital badging proposal, which showcased unifying themes, content knowledge, impact areas, timelines with potential badge classes, with a goal to have teachers become change agents in STEAM education. From this point on, each partner tried to work on building on the proposed idea and piloted various initiatives, workshops, professional development programs to understand components of digital badging better, which you're going to hear next.
Hello and welcome from Suriname. My name is Rosanna. Right now, I will do a presentation together with Cindy on an example of a leadership workshop to evaluate badging as a prospect for Suriname. First thing we did, we asked people from the highest level of the Ministry of Education join us in a meeting where we asked them for their name, their job title, but also something fun they did during COVID-19. You should know we had there the Deputy Director of Education, we had acting head of the curriculum development, people from the Bureau of Communications, but also people from the TFED education, inspectors, a school leader, and later on a coordinator for teachers in the interior. Together with Dr. Padu, we learned a little bit more about them in a fun way, and we got to see that we have a little bit of a common ground during COVID-19. It was a really fun exercise, but it also gives you a little bit of an idea of the different kinds of people and departments we had in this meeting. The next thing we did, we asked them what pedagogical and professional practices are expected from teachers in Suriname. We asked them to go to a different website where they could jot down their ideas and their expectations on little post-its. Everyone can just choose any color they like and they can write as many as they wanted. They were scattered all over the place, and with the help of Professor Padu, we got them nicely organized. So at the top left, you see the student-centered practices we expect from teachers, like teachers need to believe in their students. On the top right, we see the skills-centered ones. It is a must for teachers to have ICT skills. At the bottom left, we have the community-centered ones. Teachers should keep parents informed on their child's progress on a regular basis. And on the bottom right, the pedagogy-centered ones. Teachers should be able to be creative and inventive in their practices. We not only did this to get people to think towards the badging as a system, as a prospect for Suriname, but also to show that we have common ground in our expectations for teachers in Suriname. Then we showed them these 4 trees. You should know that at the time that the participants looked at this slide, there were no there was no text on it, and there were no post-its. The post-its were all created by them. So they only had to look at the trees one by one. We first started at the top left, and then we spoke about inequality. So you see, we asked them to write down, what do you notice and what do you wonder? People said apples are only falling on one side. Well, it's true. The tree is bent more to one side, and there are more apples on the hinged side. So the child on the right does not benefit from the tree. This is inequality. When we move to the top right, then people said, how can I reach the apples? The boy on the left has more chances, which is true. They both get ladders, but since the tree is crooked towards the left, the boy on the left still has more benefits than the boy on the right. Notice also that both the first and the second tree on the right do not have as many apples. We then move to the bottom left, and the people said then the tree is curved. Of course, we see that the ladders have different lengths. The disadvantaged boy gets a little bit of a higher ladder to reach the higher up apples, but still notice that the tree is crooked towards the left, and on the right side, there are still not that many apples. And then finally, we moved to the tree at the bottom right. This is called the tree of justice. Here, the tree is made straight, and both boys can benefit evenly from the apples in the tree. Notice also that the tree has more apples on the right than it did in the former pictures. So we have moved from inequality to equality to equity and then to justice. And justice is what we want in Suriname, not only for every student, every learner, but also from every teacher when they want to engage in a batching system. We want to give everyone a chance to benefit out of this system, and also engaging teachers in a batching system could help them to give more opportunities and justice opportunities to all learners in Suriname. This was a really nice exercise because we said, well, the tree can be a teacher, but the tree can be an educational system. So what do we need to bend in Suriname? Then we wanted to move towards a SWOT analysis for our batching system, but we first started with something a little bit lighter. We started with a SWOT of a new restaurant in Suriname due to COVID-19. As you know, in a SWOT, there are strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We then move forward in another workshop to make a SWOT as a SWOT for batching as a prospect in Suriname. What we did is we looked at the strengths, like the Ministry of Education is already focusing on professionalization with job profiles, and the leaders who are in the workshop saw the benefit of the batching system. Those are a couple of our strengths. The weaknesses are listed at the top right, like inequity. People from maybe the interior do not have the digital facilities, maybe do not have access to internet, and may not be able to participate in such a batching system if we would do stuff online. Also, if we do not have a clear way of communicating with our teachers, there might be resistance. Opportunities, I want to mention a couple of them. Teachers will be motivated to professionalize, especially the innovative teachers who enroll themselves in different kinds of training. They will be rewarded. And Suriname can learn from our friends around the world, like you guys. And we have already been learning a lot. The batching as a system is something we are right now learning about. And one of the threats is we should be careful that we do not copy while still learning from the world. Do not copy a batching system from another country, because we should be careful that it's not a mismatch for Suriname. We should look at our pace and not move too fast or too slow. Of course, we want to focus a lot on communication because we have seen it as a weakness, and we want to come back. We don't want resistance against innovation, and that's what we want to have: clear and complete communication. So this is a SWOT for batching as a prospect in Suriname, made with the help of these leaders within the Ministry of Education in Suriname, together with Dr. Padu. And we want to thank them, and we want to thank you for your attention. And if you have any ideas, feel free to contact us. I will now give the word to Cindy, who is going to talk about the batching, but then from the side of a teacher. What does it mean for them? Thank you very much.
Pre-pandemic, we teachers had the freedom to decide our own pace in incorporating the 21st century skills into our lesson plans. The COVID-19 pandemic forced teachers around the world to change their pedagogical practices within a short period of time. Hence, we are now much more into educational changes. But we do have the freedom to pick and choose the practices that we think are beneficial to our teaching and help us grow as educators. Due to this, we unintentionally contribute to inequality within the educational system. The badging system will not only bring more structure to our educational system and help further bridge the gap between the capital and rural areas of our countries, but also provide the common tools for all teachers. These common pedagogical practices would ensure that all learners are better prepared with real-world challenges.
So you've heard from one of the countries how they are trying to understand about digital badging system. Now we go to the United States and their plans, and let me play that.
Hi, I'm Abhilasha Tripathi from Fairfax County Public Schools, part of the USA teams. Also with me, we have Dr. Padu, who is also part of USA teams with George Mason University. A popular approach to engaging teachers in an opportunity to enhance their professional and pedagogical practices in the US is through institutions of higher education that offer graduate professional development courses. These courses offer continuing education credits that qualifies towards teacher licensure, credentialing, which is similar to the badging system. In order to continue with the team's idea of digital badging, the USA teams worked with George Mason University to offer professional development course, which was advertised to 3 different schools, namely Fairfax County Public Schools, Arlington County, and Prince William County schools. As the flyer shows, our badge modules were planned around the themes such as culturally responsive teaching, problem-solving frameworks, integrating global challenges in the classroom, and lesson study. Within 24 hours of the announcement, we had over 100 responses from the teachers through kindergarten through 12th grade from all content areas. While this was exciting, we had to have the diversity of grade levels such as domains, teacher experiences applying from different districts. It also was clear from the pre-survey that the participants submitted that the themes selected for the modules were of great interest. Using the responses from the teachers pre-survey with the goal of equitable sharing, the opportunity to all 3 districts to teachers that taught subjects with different experience level, we finally selected 30 teachers for the course. As the first step, besides the 30 teachers, we selected additionally 6 instructional coaches as teacher leaders who worked with us as co-facilitators for the professional development course. A Google Classroom for the PD was created and the teachers were enrolled. All communications were presented through the portal, including assignments, reflection journals, asynchronous homeworks, and course materials. One of the most important parts of this PD was to ask every teacher participant to bring their favorite lesson plan at the beginning of the professional development, which was uploaded as pre-lesson plans. The professional development course was developed with an intention to expose the teacher participants to 4 principal components. These included educational frameworks, pedagogical practices, technology tools, and lifelong competencies. As you can see, the 6 sessions were color-coded differently to indicate the various components that were presented as the part of professional development. On the first session, all the participants were introduced to the common lesson plan template, and they were given the opportunity to translate their original lesson plan into the template provided and upload it to the Google Classroom. Further, after the session, they had the opportunity to update their lesson plans with each of the components they were excited to learn about, which was our exact goal as the teachers went through the learning process. It must also be pointed out that the teacher participants were introduced to variety of educational frameworks as respective cycles with the equity lens at the center. Because of the diversity of the grade levels, we allowed the teachers to select the frameworks that appeal to them to enhance their respective lesson plans after each session so they can use it in their own instructions. Additionally, teacher participants were excited to learn the variety of technology tools that were integrated throughout this professional development to make their instruction more exciting and with active student engagement. The focus was on using the technology to enhance the learning. In our exit survey, where we polled the teacher participants with their feelings on what and how much they learned, we were excited to receive a positive feedback from the teachers, and many of them already indicated to come back for more such professional development. And last but not the least, we were excited to be showcased in the OAS July 2021 newsletter. Thank you and welcome again.
So you've heard from Suriname, their plan on understanding how to actually create digital badging and working with different stakeholders, trying to think about what the country needs, and to another system which incorporates digital badging or through existing professional development opportunities that offer continuing education credits at a institution of higher education. And now we move on to a third model, which is with Jamaica, where they have a master teacher system. Let's look forward to hearing what they have to share also.
Good day, everyone. The Master Teacher Program is a professional pathway for the teachers who are demonstrating high-level competency in teaching and learning process. Normally, when classroom teachers accept the supervisory positions, such as vice principals and principals, the additional administrative responsibilities prevent them from continuing the same level of classroom practices. Master teacher position allow the teachers to continue the classroom teaching and encourage them to take the leadership of the professional development activities that will benefit for the other teachers. The master teacher selection process is an evidence-based assessment with various levels to ascertain the level of their proficiency in teaching and also their caliber to train the other teachers. During the COVID pandemic, they took the challenge to engage in various training sessions that motivate, train, and enable the rest of the teachers to reach out to their students remotely. I am really proud of this esteemed group as they shared the experience, especially during the COVID pandemic, to the teachers in the rest of the Caribbean, South America, and some North American schools through the OAS I-10 collaboration.
Good morning, educators. I'm Bhagya Maladi, Master Teacher from Jamaica. We as Master Teachers allow space and time to continuously build teacher capacity to better invest for our students. The 5 Master Teachers from Jamaica made an effort through a mentorship program to improve the abilities, skills, and expertise of our classroom teachers across the island. The mentorship program empowered our 34 classroom teachers through strategic planning, which included planning interactive sessions, workshops, and webinars. Congratulations, mentees, for reaching greater heights. The outcomes we achieved were supported by the National Standards Curriculum and helped us to embrace the blended approach. You can see a few snippets of our work. The 5 master teachers also shared their best practices to fill knowledge gaps, improve teaching practices, and build the 21st century skills. Being a master teacher and an ITIN teacher fellow myself, I had the privilege of working with many teachers from both the primary and the secondary schools across the island. It was a learning experience for all of us as we continue to enhance our pedagogical practices. And here are a few more snippets. You can know more about our sustainable developmental goals and practices through our own website that is being developed right now. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for that part from Jamaica. And then we have one more region that works in this Teams project, which is Antigua and Barbuda. And we have members from the Ministry of Education also a part of this. And this picture, of course, is just to let us all know how lovely nature is. And, Antigua and Barbuda is a perfect place for us to imagine to be by the beaches, and they have a very strong focus on integrated education also. And one of their big reasons why they want to be a part of the team is also to understand challenges in mathematics, integration of mathematics and secondary education. So it's a very nice collaboration of 4 different countries looking at different opportunities. And one of the things that, as you saw, we all converge to is the understanding of how do we provide incentive to teachers in the form of digital badging, which could lead to what is called as micro-credentials. And this is going to be one of the first of its kind. And the change agent badge that we are creating and bringing different perspectives from different countries. This is going to be one of the first times that such a thing will be introduced from a global perspective. So we would love for more of you to join us and understand and shape this as we progress through this. So I think we have about a minute or two. We would love for you to actually type something on the chat and say if there's one takeaway from all the things that you learned or heard. That'll be wonderful. And feel free to ask us questions. This will be a great time. So Alison, if there's any questions on the chat, all the members from the team are all here. I'm trying to scan through the chat here. If there's a, yes, Alison.
No, that's okay. I was just, you had mentioned my name, and so I was just going to say, please, by all means, you handle the questions as you please, and we'll cut off in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, good. We have 5 more minutes. Okay, feel free to ask us questions. Tell us if this is of interest to you. If you'd like us to send you a survey, because we are at a developmental stage. If there is things that each country will need, will be wanting something different. And some countries may focus on ICT, some may focus on mathematics, some may focus on SDGs. So, so I think we are trying to figure out what type of okay, so thank you for asking that question, Sujata. I am at George Mason University. I'm a faculty there. I'm the director of STEM here. And we do have the concept of micro-credentials. A micro-credential is think of it as a smaller degree, which consists of smaller badges. Think of your Boy Scouts and Guides, Boy Scout badges. You get a badge for cooking. You get a badge for being able to be a leader and things like that. So it's badges are around competencies, and if you're a critical thinker, you get a badge. So how do we bring that about in teaching? So this would be a new concept in teaching. So so we haven't. So that's where we got the idea from. So many universities in the United States and Europe are already doing it, but they're not doing it for teaching and education. So this would be the first time we are venturing, and first time also for global competency. Any other questions? And yes, Sundartai, absolutely. We need better ways to give incentive to teachers. And I know OAS does, this conference, you all are going to get a certificate. So potentially, if you work with OAS and you attend certain number of workshops, and of course, you have to reflect. And once you do certain assignments related to those workshops, then you can get a badge for gaining a new competency. So we have to work with external organizations also. Joseph, you're here. You want to share some ideas also? And Joseph is from the Ministry of Education in Jamaica.
Good morning, all. Actually, the teachers, while they are in profession, they are learning a lot, and experience is giving them maybe much more than that they learn from a university in training. So we really recognize those accumulated knowledge and experiences. So this badging system is an endorsement for that, and it is going to work as a motivation for the teachers to engage in regular professional development activities. Why? Because our students' generation, they come and we are teaching with an entirely different set of students in front of us after 10 years. So this is very dynamic. So we want to ensure that our teachers need to be accommodating and that they should aware of that change, and that gap can be filled only through this type of professional development, and that need to be administered in this particular type of activities. So it can be recognized right across the country, or it can be across the world. So this is a wonderful idea, and we are really looking forward for more development activities in this particular project.
Wonderful. Wonderful thoughts. I think one of the key things that you said is also flexibility. So if Jamaica, for example, is experts at one topic, and say Suriname and US, the teacher in Colombia could have the flexibility to take those different modules from different places, and then that whole thing could form a batch. So this is the type of thinking that we are having, and we have to, of course, work with organizations like OAS who can help organize these things. So this is again at a nascent stage, but we hope we will make progress on this one. So any other comments from the team? I see Bhagya, you want to say something?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It was a great pleasure working with this entire team. And it's 2 years that we have been together and collaborating together. You know, we come up with all kinds of ideas. And as Dr. Padu showed you, that particular whiteboard, it was a fantastic session. That was where we started, and all the ideas pouring out. And the best part about this is we all put in our ideas together. And I'm very thankful to OAS and ITEN. I've been with them from the past 4 years now, and I myself have grown. I can see that, and I can see my growth. And at the same time, I'm telling you, in Jamaica, we have done a lot. And I'm thankful to Dr. Thomas for that, definitely, and to the entire team over here. So thank you very much, Dr. Padu, for today's presentation, and you are doing an awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagya. And Bhagya is a teacher from Jamaica. So let's hear from maybe Abhilasha, 30 seconds. You want to share something quickly? Your perspective?
My perspective, yeah. Hi, everybody. And I'm from the US. So, of course, like we always thought we had so many resources, but while collaborating with these other countries, Suriname, Antigua Barbuda, and Jamaica, we realized like there are so many differences that we found in the resources that we have and then they have, and like the sharing the ideas and the practices. It was like amazing. It wasn't like, oh, we have the wealth of resources, but there was so much we could take away and we could learn from these countries. So thank you all for working with us. And this was the amazing platform given to us by OAS. And last but not the least, thanks, Alison, for keeping us all together. And yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. And two more people are here also, just wanted to acknowledge them. Rosanda, who heads the professional development at Suriname with the Ministry of Education. Rosanda, you want to share something quickly?
Yes, please. You have a moment.
Yes, I'm very thankful to be here with you together, and I don't look at my best because of Corona, but I want to say hi and welcome to everyone. And also, I'm very thankful for everyone to not only share their information with us, but also to connect and give us the power to keep going within our project teams, to keep continuing in everything we have started out, not only for our teachers, but at the end for all our students. We want to move toward the batching, not only to professionalize our teachers, but at the end to have a better educational system for all our youth. And if we can do that also within the CARICOM, I have seen people from different regions also, but also sharing knowledge all the way to Ecuador and America. This really gives us hope and keeps us going. So this is something I want to share, and I really want to thank you. And we have already also shared this link on our Facebook page so that everyone in Suriname can also see what is going on within this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Cindy, 30-second closure, please. Cindy.
Thanks, Dr. Padu. Hello, everyone. I just want to say that this collaboration was really amazing for me. It truly impacted my own personal growth as an educator, but also my colleagues, and it had an important impact on my students. So thank you, team. We did a great job. Thank you for everything. I really learned a lot from each and every one of you. Thank you.
So thank you, Alison. Back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, team. As always, it's such a pleasure. Once again, participants, thank you all for joining us today for this session. This team also, much like all of the rest of our teams, have been putting in tireless effort to their work for over the last 6 months. And this team actually for the last year and a half now, working together on this project. So please do reach out to them and utilize the resources that they have. I'll go ahead and post now in the chat a few links for the events going on, the agendas, as well as the links to the live Facebook and live YouTube for all of these presentations. These videos will be recorded and saved there. So please do entertain the idea of looking at those agendas and looking at where you might join for the rest of the day. Team, thanks again. I appreciate you all. Please, everybody, venture over to GatherTown and check out the events going on over there. And we will go ahead and pause for the moment. I'm going to quickly actually share a final. I don't need to share a slide. We'll just go ahead and close out. We will take a 5-minute break, intermission, before we get started with the next group. And just for those of you who are joining us, that session will start in 5 minutes, and my team that's coming on, I will add you as co-hosts. So team from my team's team from Jamaica, Suriname, Antigua Barbuda, and the US. Thank you all so much. It's always a pleasure. Very grateful for your time and your presentation. We'll be back in 5 minutes, everyone.
Thank you for the great job you're doing, Alison.
Thank you, Rosanda.